Contemporary context, exercise 4.2, resourcing our or my archive. Now, as I put together my research from my personal archive, and as the process started to develop, I started to consider threads that started to appear from my own personal experiences and hobbies. And many years ago I used to be into horses, at one point had 3, and over a period of time you do start to collect your own personal archive with equipment. Now these, as a point of interest, I've just saved over a number of years because I no longer work with the horses anymore due to the biggest one passing away. So I've collected and saved some of her equipment, and one of the many pieces of equipment is this, which is a bit that goes into the horse's mouth, and this is called a loose ring snaffle. Now this obviously is the tool that goes into the horse's mouth, and this is what generates communication, how horse and rider talk to one another. Now these are particularly interesting because, again, just looking at them, my next port of threads that come from these pieces of equipment, that these would possibly at some point make some quite nice hanging pieces to maybe hang some textile samples from. I have another which is a slightly more robust bit, more heavy duty, it's a lot stronger, and it is for a different type of discipline. It has attachments for the reins and the bridle, and that would be realistically for a very strong horse that's got a very strong mouth. Now, as part of this collection, this actually led me on to a bit that was found possibly the First World War, and was brought back from the Somme by my dad. He occasionally goes out there and goes walking over there, so I was lucky enough for him to bring this piece back, which is, as we can see, superb, cast in a very different metal. Obviously this has been weathered, or at some point has just could possibly have been found, with a dead horse at some point in the First World War, and then the leather reins and the part of the bridle have possibly rotted away. But another excellent piece of an archive from equestrian. Then he also brought back for me horseshoes. There are absolutely thousands and thousands of these that just get pushed to the sides of the farmers' fields. So he brought these back. Again, that possibly could be from the First World War, or it could possibly be from a working horse that would have worked the fields, going back to when these horses were still ploughing the farmland for the farmers. And then we have a stirrup, again from the Somme, could possibly date back to the First World War, but again has obviously superior piece of history to it. But again, I had considered, or possibly will consider, maybe attaching a textile sample and use that as a framework to hang some samples from. Now, another small thread that came to mind that was in the box of equestrian wear was this little kit. It's a particular label, Barber Wear, and it's part of the equestrian kit with the waterproof coats that we use for every day and so forth. And this was actually given to me by a friend as a gift, and I think it possibly dates back to maybe the 60s. again would be under further investigation, like all of these artefacts that I have presented. But this kit actually is just a little sewing kit that you can repair your Barbour jacket internally where the fabric gets ripped and so forth. And it also comes with needle and cotton, and also as well it's got a package of how to repair the jackets, how to stitch, and that is also a catalogue which will tell you the full range of what Barbour provide for workwear, because that's what it's initially been made for working with horses and for working in rural environments, but more so with the equestrian subject in mind. So as we can see, some very interesting pieces that will go further into the assignment and hopefully be used as a source of reference and inspiration.